How everybody doing today?
Good.
Hello.
Hi,
How you doing,
Kevin.
Calvin? Hi, everyone.
Hi, Doug. Hi,
Hey
hi,
everyone.
Missy. Hi,
Hey, Tom. I'm
everyone.
Maisie.
Hey John.
Take it
Hi.
away, Tongvu.
Okay. The, the message is to our viewer who was last week, I mean, 2 weeks ago, watching our show, and suddenly the show stopped. We suddenly had the technical issue. So we promised ourselves that we would come back and finish the talk with Daisy and make her happy because she has
Maisie.
a lot of questions. Daisy,
Maisie.
she has a lot
Maisie.
of questions. Daisy,
Maisie, what I am.
You guys are so funny.
Macy. Oh yes, forgot. I have been taking a lot of picture of Daisy, so it's
That's
sitting
right.
there.
That's right. That's right. He has, folks.
Yeah.
He has. That's right. Beautiful picture.
Okay. So Macy. So let's continue our talk 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone. Hi guys. Good evening. It's great to be here with these two amazing chemists. I always tell people I'm a green apple trying to be a red apple. So here being in this room with both of you, I am looking forward to learning even more about the industry. And some of the questions that I'm going to be asking tonight, they're not necessarily questions from me, but they're questions from others in my network. My network is not only a national network, my network is an international network. So a lot of the information that we're privy to in the US, a lot of people around the world don't have that information. So based on some of the things that they have asked me over the years and asking me to date was what I sent in for us to discuss tonight, because I feel that there's this information that people out here need, including and not limited to some of the nail professionals here in the States. So the last time when we got disconnected, I'm so good and I have so much electricity. I blew out the thing, y'all. I just blew it out. It got canceled. It was all me. It wasn't even them. It was me. So prayerfully, I don't blow it out again tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and get started and get this show on the road. So we were discussing about gel lamps, how we have different light lamps out here, and some people say hard gel, some people say soft gel, some people talk about shellac, um, gelish, what have you, and then also the lights that they're using. Some people are using a certain one manufacturer's light with another manufacturer's product. What is your take on that? How do you advise the nail professionals on how they should use products, guys? Tell
Okay.
that's to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for giving out the question. And indeed, this is the question that a lot of people have, because as you know, there's a lot of different gel out there in the nail market, and also there are a lot of different lamps. And the history of gel nail and gel lamp has been, more than 2 decades. So there are a lot of different things. So throughout that time frame, Doug and I has been in the industry, so we know something, but again, there are always to learn something new every day. So we bouncing off each other and share with you and the audience what we know. Again, we are just a scientist experience, and we know something. The knowledge that we know is what we are going to share. So it's not like what we saying is the God saying, you have to believe in it. Okay, so maintain your question and ask until you satisfy. Yeah, okay. So I know that you have more than 30-year experience in nail salon, so you know a lot. The question is more like a little bit for yourself, but mostly for the audience, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in let me share the overall history of gel nail and gel lamp, and then and we can go from there, right? So basically, in the United States, more than 20 years ago, we already have gel. Uh, it's not as famous as it is right now, but the technology is not that new. Okay, so and then when we initially the gel is mainly cross-link and not soakable in acetone. And initially, it just appeared to be a thin top coat. It can be applied on top of enhancement. And then later on, the industry start growing to make gel become a real enhancement. Enhancement, like, you know, is similar to liquid and powder system, but not really the same, because it's come from different technology, right? But it serves the same goal, is having enhancement that can improve the thickness of the nail and also the length of the nail, as opposed to nail polish, which you cannot build length with nail polish, right? So that stayed in the industry for, you know, almost a decade. So that gel, because it's have technology mainly from fully cross-linking, so it's not soakable. So it's different from liquid and powder. Liquid and powder acrylic can be soaked off in acetone, right? Do you do acrylic, Daisy?
Yes.
Sorry, Maisie. Okay,
That's
so
it's okay. I do acrylics and gel and gels as
yeah,
well.
so you know that acrylic can be soaked up in acetone, even though it takes a little long time, but eventually get there, right? But on the other hand, the gel, the traditional gel for skirting nail, is so difficult for soak up in acetone. So they call it hard gel, right? Later, the category of hard gel come only when the soft gel come. Then they have two different things to differentiate with. So the terminology is normally come after some people launching new product in the market, and then defining its own category, right? So initially we just have gel. There was no such thing like, at that time they don't call it traditional gel, right? And they didn't call it as a hard gel because there's only one type. Right. And then later on, like about 2000, 2002, you know, there was some company starting to market their new product line. They call it soakable, right? And then it's not really soakable as as shellac right now, but at that time it's starting to have a new branch of lifting away from traditional gel, which is sculptable, right? And then because it started, some companies start building in the market in that direction. Yeah, but really for that next couple years, they're not really soakable in terms of, you know, without fouling, without soaking in the bowl of acetone for a very long time. But they all share one thing in common. It is softer gel after cure compared with the traditional one existed before that group of gel, right? So you understand now why we have hard gel and soft gel, okay? Right. Because soft gel is leaning toward, you know, a newer branch, you know, a soakable gel, and one of the approach to make it soakable is make it softer, you know. So there come we have two category subcategory in the gel, you know, one is hard, one is soft. And then when the soak time of that soft gel is too long and fouling still require a lot, there's a need to make a soakable gel that is very suitable for the 1 hour service time frame, you know, with the soak time supposed to be much less and much less than 30 minutes. So, and then it's supposed to be easy to apply, and then boom, we have shellac coming along 2010, and then shellac is the gel that in the bottle paint on like nail polish, but it's cured under the UV lamp, right? At that time, you know, same time frame, a little bit later, but another company also have a gel in the bottle that apply like nail polish and cure under the lamp, and not really soakable, right? So we have two things in the market almost at the same time in the bottle, right? One is more soakable, one is less. So and then people just see it as a good opportunity for the entire nail industry. So there are more and more companies making similar thing, trying to put gel in the bottle, easy to apply, cure the gel, cure in the nail lamp, and then have the nail last much longer than nail polish. Nail polish lasts only a couple of days. The gel polish type, it's actually lasting weeks, beyond 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks. So that caused a boom, explosion in terms of volume, in terms of sale in nail salon. And in the whole industry grow at that time, even though during the 2010, 2012, we were still in the financial crisis, but nail salon, nail business turned out to be one of the few industry that wake up from the final crisis the soonest. And then so now we have a new category, a gel polish. Okay, so shellac is on the easy to soak off side. The rest is not soak off at all or less soak off. They have to remove. They have to rely on fouling most of the gel before they soak in acetone. Okay, so now as you can tell, there are so many companies making so many kind of gel, and each of the company have to find some lamp to work with. So because without lamp, the gel cannot cure by itself, right? And then there are two scenarios. The first is they got the lamp first, from somewhere, and they will make the gel curable appropriately with that lamp. Another scenario is, they have a gel first, and they find some lamp that can give the right dose, the right intensity to cure that gel properly. And then there's another type, they just have a lamp and they just have the gel and they don't care if it's cured properly or not, right? So we have, numberless, countless of lamps in the market, countless. Nail professional is that always go with the system, because it's more likely that system are built together, or at least the producer, the manufacturer knows something about the gel that they make and the lamp that they sell. At least they know something about that more than they know other lamp or other gel, right? So I hope that that clear your answer. And I have I may still miss something. So Doug, can you help me out? Do I miss something?
Yeah, I don't know if you missed anything, but I do have some comments. Clearly there are lots of different kinds of products, as Juan was pointed out. And there's lots of different kinds of lamps. All these curing different ways, you have different chemistries, different curing times, different soak-offs. Well, then why do you think there could be a lamp called a universal lamp that cures all gels? That makes no sense. If there's so many different kinds of products out there, how could one lamp cure any gel or any cure product? It can't. That's ridiculous. That's a myth. In fact, it's actually a deception that's being perpetrated on our industry. Why would a manufacturer sell just a lamp and not a gel? Because they just want you to use a lamp. They don't care what you use it with. They don't care if it cures correctly. They just want to sell you a lamp. You should never buy a lamp because a lamp manufacturer told you to buy it. You should only buy the lamp that the gel manufacturer tells you to buy. The gel manufacturer, the brand owner, the one that's selling the gel, they're responsible for determining how to properly cure their products. They're responsible legally to tell you how to properly cure the products. And if you don't properly cure the products and you're harmed because of this, they're legally liable for that. So especially in the United States, we live in the most litigious nation on earth. So I think manufacturers have been a little sloppy about this, and the better manufacturers are not. They will specifically tell you, this is the lamp you should use to properly cure our products. And the reason they do that is not because they're trying to sell you a lamp, it's because they're trying to make you successful with your products. Unlike the lamp manufacturer just wants to unload their lamps, the gel manufacturers want you to be successful so you'll buy their products over and over again and use them, and their clients will be happy. So go for the best manufacturers, and the best manufacturer is the one who make not just quality products, but they have quality instructions, quality education, quality information. They're able to help you become successful. A good sign of a good company is one that will tell you, this is the lamp or lamps, these couple lamps, we've tried them all. We all know they properly cure, and this is how you properly cure. Follow their directions, and you're most likely going to get the very best result. Otherwise, you're just out there rolling the dice and hoping that you get the right lamp with the right gel, and you might possibly get good curing. That can happen, but that's called luck. And if you want to do your job based on luck, well, then follow that path. But if you want to use a method that's been tried and true and guaranteed to bring you success, then you should work, as I've said before, with the right information, using the right lamp, curing properly, and that will require you to find out the companies that do give this information and then follow that information. The minimum you should expect from a company in this industry, not just because they have a pretty darn gel. Who cares that they got a pretty gel? They're not a professional company. They don't act professionally in the way we've been talking about. Take your money somewhere else.
You guys are discussing, I'm listening, and you guys are talking about a topic right now that is really hot. And it's actually, we are going to be discussing that on the point next week. But in regards to like what I mentioned in the beginning, folks, okay, of this webcast, folks, all right, that right now one of the issue that is we're having not only nail pros but non-nail pros buying online, and what I mean without knowledge, okay, just exactly what the chemist's been talking about, without knowledge and common sense, folks, all right, and so but I'm talking mainly about the so-called social media nail artists that, Doug, we mentioned so many times that you just mentioned that there's too many of them right now without knowledge, okay? So panels, the issue right now is coming up where we have discussed about the potential problem that can come out of this so-called, artists putting their products brand together, that, and then and packaging it, private labeling, and then selling it to the mass. All right, that's what's been happening, and there's been an issue now is coming up. All right, in regards to to the products that that people buy, of course, not being consistent with the quality, okay, and causing Doug, what is that? Different irritation and so forth like that. There's a lot of issue coming up.
I can honestly tell you, during the pandemic, one of my sisters, and she had taken her nails off. I don't do her nails. She doesn't live near me. So she goes and gets her nails done. So she had taken her nails off, and she was telling me about this nail class she's about to take, and this girl is charging like $25 for her to learn how to do her own nails. And I'm like, you're gonna take a class with somebody that's not even licensed? Are you freaking kidding? I was like, I was like, are you crazy? Seriously? The girl doesn't even have, because she's an influencer, and that's why you're taking a class with her for $25? Like, it's crazy. It's really it's really crazy. I think that is what's happening in our industry. There's so many people on social media that is not. That's why I want to move it from this. I think I want to go straight into like the MMA issue and then the licensing, because I think those three are the three major topics that we need to really cover and discuss. I have written some notes down here, but I think if I go back to my notes and questions that I want to
let it flow,
elaborate on, we will be here for 2 weeks.
Let it flow.
So I'm just gonna. There's a couple of things that I really think is important that I would like for Tongwood and Doug to address.
The chemist.
One is people should understand what hot spots are, and people should really understand. Doug, I know you said that improper curing can cause allergic reaction. So one I'm talking about hot spot. Improper curing can cause allergic reaction, but what about mixing chemicals in terms of when they're prepping the nails? can that also cause allergic reaction? That's the second question there. And then lastly, if they wear the nails for like 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or what have you, is that do you think that's a safe thing to do? Do you think that, how some people say, well, I want my nails to breathe? Elaborate on that for me, please. Just those three, and then we're going to move into MMA, please.
I mean, you can bring up 100 different examples of things that people do that are not following directions, that are doing things improperly. No gel company is going to tell you to rub the gel on the skin around your cuticles, client's nails, or to get it all over your hands. Yet people do these things. So we could talk all night about all the things that people do they shouldn't do, but what we're really doing is pointing out that they're not following directions. And I think the real key here is people need to get away from all these fly-by-night companies that don't know anything. Find one of the big companies that have been around for a long time, that do their own research, that do their own development, that do their own education, and even have educators. Find a company like that and invest your money in them, and quit messing around with all these other techniques and all these other foolish things that are causing people to have to leave the industry because they become too allergic to their own products.
It is correct to bet on the bigger company. They have deep pocket. They have to responsible for what they sell, and they will more likely to support your complaint or issue. They will want you to success so that they can support you more, sell to you more. So in general, going to the bigger company is a good bet, right? But I just want to say, my principle of life is now, no extreme is the solution, okay? Because it's a way of life. Even big company sometimes make mistake. So if you bet 100% into big company, and when you have a gel that doesn't stick on the nail 3 weeks as they promised, they say, okay, I must do something wrong. So you can keep beat yourself to death until you figure out that 100,000 of other people observe the same thing, right? Then that company have something wrong in their product line too. Good thing is they will correct them or responsible for the mistake they have. But things happen.
That's an exception to the rule, Tom, isn't it? That's an exception to the rule. That's not what they normally do. Whereas we're talking about companies that normally put out crappy products. Big difference. I don't think it's fair to talk about a company can have every once in a while a problem. The responsible companies, like you said, rarely does that happen. The irresponsible companies, often that happens. There's the difference. So it's not about being 100%. It's about going with someone you trust. And if you don't trust the company you're with to tell you the truth and to provide you with quality products, it doesn't matter if it's a little cheaper. Don't use it. It doesn't matter if you like their colors. Don't use it. You're just going to, in the long run, be sorry that you did.
In general, the heat spike is what you observe at the moment, the very few seconds right after you put the thick gel into the lamp, and the client feel the heat shock within a few seconds. That's what you mentioned about, right? And the red spot is the observation using your eyes. You see some red spot occur after that, right? So there are two events. It associate to each other, but one is feeling by your sensation, heat sensation, and another is coming from your observation using your eyes.
Whenever you cure any product, a little bit of heat is released. If you cure a lot of product, a lot of heat is released. So if you make your gel nails thicker than normal, more heat is going to be released per second than if you make them the normal heat. So if you get all that heat rushing in at one time, you can get a heat spike. The way to calm that down is, of course, make thinner layers. People don't want to take the time. Everyone's in a rush. But if you just make thinner layers, that can control the heat, because oftentimes the heat is caused because people are using too much on each nail. The other reason, of course, is improper lamp. A great sign of an improper lamp is that it will cause heat spikes, serious ones that your clients are pulling their hands back out of. If you're not using the lamp recommended by the manufacturer, the first thing you should suspect is my lamp output of UV is too much for this gel. which is what would cause a heat spike. Too much UV energy coming down on that poor gel too fast will cause it to heat spike too. So too thick and the improper lamp are the number one reasons. But also some clients, their nail beds are just burnt and sensitive, and any pressure on them, they're more sensitive to heat. That can happen too. But generally, if most of your or many of your clients are feeling these heat spikes, it's probably because you're applying the product too thickly or you're using an incorrect lamp.
We have reason to go to EMA because there are plenty of choice out there in the market, and it's affordable compared with the service price. And there, like Doug said, there are a lot of state and country that regulate the issue, regulate the MMA use. So why we have to spend money and effort to play around with something that have a potential dealing with problem with clients and also the regulator, right?
Exactly. Well said.
But the thing that make the two ingredients different is one is a reaction faster and make it cure harder. MMA harder, make the acrylic much harder, and you will have to foul very hard to get rid of that. And when it stick too well, such that, like Doug said, when it peel off, it choose to peel off your fingernail, not the acrylic. It crack, it break, and it's very painful. So why bother using that? But there is a key that, as I mentioned with nail deck the other last month. So by just seeing the label saying that this monomer from this company contain EMA, it doesn't mean that it's by God it's a good product, right? Not all monomer that made with EMA are good. So it's just a quick note for you, Maisie. So having a label saying EMA is not guaranteed that monomer is good. You have to go further.
If you guys listen tonight, we discuss a lot of information, but one of the things that come up to me is about working with companies that's been around. Not particularly have to be big company like Mr. Tong Vu said, okay? Because don't forget, folks, C&D started out in the garage, okay? And look where they're at right now. So, for those of you that know me and been following my career, I used to get teased a lot about, from different people. It's like, dang, Kevin, how come you always work for the big American company? You know what I mean, right? For me, it was what they discussed about today. I knew that those companies that I'm working for, they had certain things that I was looking for. One of them being that I can get some knowledge, some education from those companies that I didn't know before. So I look into the company and some of the requirements that they have to have in order for me to, would be considered would be like an R&D department, folks. Pretty much all the company I work for, they have an R&D department, okay, which is a very important. That is where I actually learn, not only test, and support, some of the products, but that is where you're able to actually see that there is this company that actually invests in and pay a professional like a chemist to go in there and to not copy, but to innovate, folks. That's why we have the products we have right now on the market, all those companies. And I had the privilege and the opportunity to work with both of the chemists on here and other chemists in other, companies, all right? And so I know how important that is, R&D, okay, folks? Other than that, folks, the only thing I ask for is please you like, you follow, and you share this webcast and Vitnell TV. Okay, that is the way for us to get this information that we take the time here, folks, all right? All of us take the time to create and to bring you this information that can help you, definitely can help you to improve and grow your business. All right, on that note, folks, thank you so much again. Have a wonderful evening. Be safe and be kind.